Shadows whisper down the hall. Footsteps echo in the dark. Another case, another spark. Digging deep, the secrets hide. Truth they bury, it survives. Piece by piece, we break the lies. Light up and alive. We're seeking truth, no stone unturned. Every clue, every word. Justice waits in hidden wounds. We won't stop. We're seeking truth. Silent victims lost and gone. Echoes scream, but life moves on. Fleeing faces, mystery calls. Answers waiting in the walls. Digging deep, the secrets hide. Truth they bury, it survives. Piece by piece, we break the lies. Light up and alive. We're seeking truth, no stone unturned. Every clue, every word. Justice waits in hidden rooms. We won't stop. We're seeking truth. Through the static, through the fear, we'll uncover what's unclear. Through the static, through the fear, we'll uncover what's unclear. We're seeking truth, no stone unturned. Every clue, every word. Justice waits in hidden rooms. We won't stop. We're seeking truth. No, we won't stop. No, we won't stop. We're seeking truth. Late at night, stories call. Shadows whisper down the hall. Footsteps echo in the dark. Another case, another spark. Digging deep, the secrets hide. Truth they bury, it survives. Piece by piece, we break the lies. Light up and alive. We're seeking truth, no stone unturned. Every clue, every word. Justice waits in hidden rooms. We won't stop. We're seeking truth. Silent victims lost and gone. Echoes scream, but life moves on. Fleeing faces, mystery calls. Answers waiting.
Okay, here we go.
Digging deep, the secrets hide. Truth they bury, it survives. Piece by piece, we break the lies. Light up and alive. We're seeking truth, no stone unturned. Every clue, every word.
Everywhere.
Justice waits in hidden rooms. We won't stop. We're seeking truth.
Hello everybody. Good evening. I know I said I'm a little late, probably a little bit late. I was just trying to grab some more information, some more research, and so yeah, I wanted to make sure I have my things together, my information together, and I know there's a few other people that are live right now, so I probably won't have too much traction over here, but I figured this would be a great topic to talk about. We don't we don't see this talked about, I would say. And this topic was brought to me by a very, very close friend of mine. And I think, in general, he was stating that this topic isn't talked about in the true crime area. And 100% is correct. Like, I was digging and doing some research. And I don't know if you guys know what the Mmiw stands for. I was going to bring up a picture as my thumbnail, but since I don't pay for StreamYards, I couldn't add any more like backgrounds or any of the photos. So what I have is on here is what I have. I did try to capture a photo. I wasn't able to put it as my backdrop, to give you guys kind of a hint of what the Mmiw stands for. There's a couple links already in my comments that I put in. I'm sure if you just type that in your Google, it's going to pop up. You shouldn't have any issues. It might not be hyperlinked in the chat, but excuse me, you should be able to just type that into Google and you'll be able to just go with it, okay? Or you can even type in certain keywords. It'll pop up some of the cases. I used Copilot on my laptop, and it helps bring up some additional things when I was researching. So let's just go ahead and let me explain to you what, through my notes here. So what is the Mmiw? Okay, now I didn't know what this was either, but I do have some statistics. I have some things that we're going to talk about. I also have a couple clips. We have a couple unsolved cases that relates to the Mmiw. Okay. First off, let me back up a page here. I was on my link page, and that's not where I wanted to be, I don't think. So this is, I'm trying to go where read my notes, and okay, so here we go. So, and this is very sad because this is not talked about. Like I said, this is not a topic that people see, especially in the true crime area. Just stating off that this is very sad, and it's very sad because it's classified and talked about as an epidemic. Okay, an epidemic of missing and murdered Native women of the United States. Okay. Close that out. 4 out of 5 women who are Native are affected by violence and human trafficking, and it's terrible. In American communities, as another epidemic that continues today. Because of the rural areas, there's no really law enforcement. Native women are easy targeted for the violence and the HT due to the fact that there's not really much law enforcement around these rural areas. And so they're marked as easy targets. Native American women are marked as Native Americans are marked as targets, and it's sad. And it's the Mmiw is a crisis that happens every day. There's been a 84% of the American Indian and Alaska Native women have experienced this in their lifetime. Whoops. I don't know what's talking to me. So yeah, they are targeted, and an 84% increase. And so the Mmiw stands for Missing and Mmed Indigenous Women. Okay. The high level of this crime and violence, and how the epidemic of missing and Mmed unalived, it's sad, and it was a big, huge increase. I'm going to show you guys some of it. Let me just go ahead and start pulling up. Some of these in here, they're going to give you some key points in here. And a couple of the articles I'm going to show you, they're going to talk about, hi SG, hi. They're going to talk about the key pointers to this. In 2022 alone, the National Crime Center records indicate 5,487 missing Native women and girls just in the United States. There was 5,487 missing. Like, that is insane, you guys. That is insane. Over 5,487 women missing. A lot of it's there was a couple of them that I wrote down, which was some of the reasons why it doesn't go anywhere, or they don't have the crime doesn't go. The missing women don't really report it, and it talks about, and some of these they're gonna point out the historical trauma to it, jurisdictional gaps, underreporting of the things that happen. It says underreporting and misclassification of the victim's race or their identity, and those are through skew statistics. There's a high rates of violence. Like I said, there's 84% of the Native women have experienced this in their lifetime. Let's see here. Let's go. And I did find a couple cases that were unsolved, and the missing girl's link is in there. Yes, SG, totally correct. The missing don't get much attention, even when they are reported. And this is Native American women that are coming from the U.S., Alaska, Canada. They're all being taken. HT is involved in a lot of these cases. But the jurisdictional gaps would be, not having the between tribal and states and federal law enforcement often lead to no resolve, and no action taken. It's just really, really sad. I'm just going to see what else is on this page. The underreporting is, I read that one. The historical trauma has left Indigenous communities vulnerable, and the cycles of violence just continue. Let's see here. I told you about in 2022, the 5,000. I do have some notes I want to go over in this one article in chapters. Yes, there's 3. I think I wrote down 3 of the missing Native Americans. Let's roll. It's really sad, SG. Let me get a drink. Okay. I love my green tea. So refreshing. Um, but let's get it going. So let's start off with, um, do I have that picture up? I'm trying to think. Do I have it up? I do have the file up. Okay, so let me show you. Let me see what I can do here. So just bear with me, y'all. Okay, share screen. We're going to go. It won't let me show the other one, my file. So let's go to. We're going to go to the Native American today. Okay, so this website, I've been on it most of the time. That's why I stopped and went down and made dinner. And then I thought, okay, I better hurry up and get this done. Bring this to you guys. When you go to this website, this is going to pop up every time. And it just says, after 10 years of dedicated services at St. Joseph's Indian School, will remain the Natives' Hope website and resources to ensure continued access to the vulnerable work and legacy. Natives' Hope has made a profound impact through the mission to empower Native voices and preserve cultural heritages and create positive change for indigenous communities. We deeply are grateful for the partnerships and stories shared and meaningful connections formed during this journey. The spirit of the Natives mission will continue through St. Joseph's Indian School. I hate saying that word. I feel kind of weird saying that word. My best friend, um, longtime old friend, she had Native American in her, and she took me to my very first powwow. And it was a beautiful, magical place. Lived a sheltered life and haven't been anywhere. And she took me to one of these powwows, and it was the most amazing, beautiful thing to see. All of these Native Americans dancing, selling all their stuff. It was down in Mohican. Very, very beautiful place. Cold. It gets cold down there in September and October. I think we went in like November-ish, September-ish, and it was quite chilly down there. Quite chilly. But it was beautiful. And I just remember her saying, remember, do not refer them as to the I word. I was like, okay, well, I'll make sure to say Native Americans. And that's just the way I've always been raised. I've been down there. I've seen how their culture is. I've been to, you know, Amish country. I've always been fascinated with the Amish country. When I was growing up as a little girl, I just loved the Amish. Like, I've always was inspired to like handcraft, do all my, wood, building things, the horse and buggies. I've always, if I could have lived back in those days, I probably would have, yeah. But I just feel weird about saying that word. Sorry, we got off on it. We got off there for a minute. We're back. So they're going to continue this organization, pretty much is what this thing is saying. I'm going to close that out, and look how beautiful. She's gorgeous. I just think she's just so beautiful. And so this has like chapters to it. And so these Native Americans today face some extraordinary challenges by the nearly in every social, culture, economical, and physical measure. Native American communities and families are uniquely and negatively impacted by the patterns of struggles. While the importance to be positive and hopeful about the future of life of Native Americans in this country, it's first important to have a genuine understanding of what indigenous people face collectively and individually. To understand what Native American life is like today, we first need to understand what it used to be like 500 years ago. Okay? If you guys can think back to 500 years ago, like, I mean, I don't know if you watch any of the old westerns, and my dad used to love all of his old westerns, but for instance, Gunsmoke and Bonanza, like they all worked with the Native Americans. I hate that word. Sorry, I hate the I word. Native Americans, um, and it's just like a lot of them, the Cheyenne group. Now there is a couple girls from these tribals that were cases that were not solved. I am going to show you guys those. Um, one of the tribal girls was from the Cheyenne tribe. I'm trying to think. I'm looking at my notes here because I have the girls wrote down. I want to say, yep. So the girl that I wrote down, her name, I don't want to butcher it. Kasiar, stops at pretty places is what I have her pulled up, and her tribal was the tribal crew and the Northern Cheyenne, and she's one of the missing unalived girls. That case has never been solved, and there's a few of them. So where was I? For 500 years, Native Americans have faced genocide, dislocation, and various forms of physical and mental and social abuse. These factors have led to high rates of violence, assault, suicide, poverty, and abuse among the Native American people today. We have to understand the historical destruction that has occurred and how destruction feeds an overwhelming hopelessness experienced by many Native Americans in the 21st century. That's just it's sad. To read more about the Native American history and the untold stories and struggles, you can visit Reflecting Our Foundation. That's some of the chapters in here as we get down here. There's some chapters here that I'll tell you. I want to show you guys this one, so we're going to go straight to chapter 6, and I will bounce back to the other one that I wanted to show you. So we're going to go to chapter 6 of the missing women, and here's all your chapters right here. Now here's that key point here. Here's one of those historical trauma. In order to understand Native Americans as a group, it struggled to thrive. Their modern world is critical to understand the importance of historical trauma. It's very important. And it touches base. I think this is what that is. Indigenous people of this continent have faced 500 years of genocide, dislocation, and variations of physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual violence. From the biological welfare through the induction of the Western diseases, dislocation, and violence of the European expansions across this continent. The cruel and discriminatory policies of the 19th century that banned critical and spiritual expressions of the native life, that was forbidden and removed from native children from their tribal homes to send them to faraway boarding schools. Discrimination and ignorance that persists to this day. Native Americans are dealing with generations of collective group trauma. Okay. This is how trauma gets passed down. Boarding schools, a lot. See, like boarding schools and those schools are not good. Like you don't send your kids to. Okay, excuse me. Summer camps, I think okay, perfect. But when you go like Paris Hilton's parents set her off to some school, some reformatory thing, and she was nothing but traumatized there. And then here we got, how it gets passed down. It says being from boarding schools, there's things that happened there back then. It says sexual abuse in the school systems, physical, mental. Trauma also gets passed down on a cellular level. Recent studies have filled, I can't say that word, epigenetics, suggest unresolved trauma of their mother. It gets passed along from the offspring during gestation that affects the children's likelihood of developing a mental and physical disease. A child's ability to regulate and manage stress. You know, that would have to be, I would say, so hard to have to. Hi everybody, KCG. Hi. Fascinating. I know, isn't it fascinating? I think I put it in interesting, but it really is interesting because my dear friend brought this to the attention that this isn't talked about, and I was like, wait a minute, let me look into this. And sure as shit, by gosh, it's not talked about, and it's so sad, and it's interesting, but interesting in a very sad, delicate, you know. Um, I had to pull up chat there for a minute. I was like, wait a minute. Yes, and one of my very dear close friends recommended this to me, and I was like, I think he was saying it more in a general that the whole true crime doesn't do any of this. When I looked into it, I was like, whoa. So, and I think a lot of these children back then that had to go through all those traumas. I mean, I've been through my traumas, but how do they manage stress? Like, how do these little kids can handle any of these kind of stressors? Like no kid should have to worry about. I was just telling my husband's cousin today. I said, you know what? None of these kids should have to go through these cancer. Like cancer's like. I feel like no kid should have to go through cancer. It's like, why do these little kids get cancer? Like, okay, I understand the high power God. Like, if you're gonna give it to the adults, like these kids don't know how to handle that. Adult can handle getting cancer better than what a little child can do. A child can handle. Like they don't. And I keep seeing these damn commercials, and they just be getting to me. Okay, so let's go to chapter 6. I just kind of wanted to pass by that and give you guys a little bit of the information from that. You guys can go to this website. It is called nativehope.org. This is chapter 3. I want to go to chapter. Okay, so here's some more statistics. Right here, the moral disparities and rates. So all causes. Okay, we got all races. U.S. A couple of these were really got me thinking. Okay, so for disease of the heart disease, 194.7 to 179 to 1.1. We got cancer, accidents. There was one on here, alcohol, diabetes back then. Let's see, chronic respiratory diseases. You'd think that would be really high, but it wasn't. Some of these are kind of low. Self-harm and suicide. Alzheimer's, homicides. And then this is that link right there. You guys can go to that if you guys want to do some extra research. But let's go to chapter. Only Native American youth continues their education after high school, while more than 60% of American youths go on to receive some educational education at college level. So only 17% of Native American youths continue their education after high school, while more than 60% of them go on to receive some of the education and college level. And right here we have a Native American family, it looks like. Very cute family. Today, only 65% of Native students graduate high school, the lowest graduating rate among American students. That's pretty sad. Look at this picture, you guys. From 1869 to 1960, hundreds and thousands of Native Americans and children were removed from their homes and families and enrolled into boarding schools. See, I'm telling you guys, boarding jokes are no joke. I wouldn't be sending my kids in that. No. I'm sorry, my kids wouldn't behave like a crazy person, for one. And you want your kids to make mistakes. You want them to. If you have high Spitfire, hey girl, thanks for joining in. Hi everybody. Please make sure you smash that like button. And I don't know, let me see if I could do it from here. KCG, I hope you like your new blue dress. Welcome aboard. Welcome aboard. I'm going to throw my links in here really quick. I'm going to throw Sinners in here. I'm going to throw mine in. And then I'm also going to throw Savage's in because I do like Savage. I'm going to throw her link in my chat because I appreciate her. I like when she does go live. I'm going to put my disclaimer back in here again. You know what I'm saying, even though it says it's too long. Justice. There we go. Maybe now. Let's see, what else do we need to put in here? I'm going to put it in here. It's not. I'm about to flush my nose. Uh-oh. God, I hope I'm not getting another sinus infection. I haven't flushed my nose in a few days, though, either. I'm supposed to keep flushing my nose. And I haven't really been doing it. I've been slacking. I have all the nasal, I have the saline stuff in there, and I just forget to do it now. When I wake up in the morning, I don't train myself to do it anymore. But I'm feeling a little bit congested there. I feel like a little bit of, I don't know. Okay, so let's see. So it says here, and that's sad that these kids have to go to these boarding schools. And what if they don't, like, I know Paris Hilton's story. They came and took her in the middle of the night. Now, how scary would that be? But this is a whole family that got taken to the boarding school and enrolled. Look at this. In 1900s, there was 20,000 children in the boarding schools. Just 25 years later, the number has climbed to 60,889. And those kids do not look happy. Boarding schools were established by 14 different denominations, with Catholics, Presbyterians, I can't say Presbyterians. Damn it, stepmom! I know my stepmom's in my head telling me to pronounce it. She'd always tell me, pronounce your words, get it out, because I used to sell makeup, and she'd be like, I don't know how to pronounce this name. I would call her and tell her, like, Mom, I don't know how to pronounce this name. And she'd be like, Jackie, just spell it out. Take your time. I don't know that word, and Quakers is being the most common. Wow, look at that. Up close and personal with you guys. Are they sitting up? Like, what is that? Oh, those are beds? Oh my god. And it's back to the beginning. Okay, now we're going to go to chapter 6. Native Americans. So how did we get here? You guys can go back and read this if you want. I'm going to go down to chapter 6 here. But look how beautiful that is. So freaking beautiful, ain't it? Okay. Here we go. Chapter 6. Mmiw. Missing and unalived indigenous women. Okay. So unfortunately, the high levels of crime and violence had led to an epidemic. Isn't that sad that we have to call this an epidemic? An epidemic is getting C-19, the black swan, the some other ones. I don't know. Name them in the chat. The plague. Those to me are epidemics. Okay. I can honestly say now, being 39 years old, about to be turning 40 in August 28th. God, I'm getting old. I'm going to be 40 years old. I don't want to be 40. Anywho, yeah. It's just crazy that, because like I remember used to saying like I can't believe back then that had to live through the plague, the swan, the other stuff, and I can honestly say now I've got to live one of the epidemics, which was the C-19, and it's just crazy that this Mmiw is a thing, and it happens, and it's not talked about. And you can see all these women out here missing. So, according to the Coalition to Stop the Violence Against Native Americans, 4 out of 5 Native women are affected by the violence today, and American women face rates are more than 10 times the national average. So these women, it has increased since the this doesn't say a date though, a year, but it says the national average is 10 times that now. 4 out of 5. And they left out being HT because I know one of them was HT and earlier. And it's just sad to even have to call this an epidemic. So the history of violence against the Native women and dates back to centuries, to the first explorers of North America, has continued through the settlements and the expansions by the Europeans over the centuries. Here we go. Here's the HT. HT in the Native American communities is another epidemic. That is insane. That is making my head hurt that is even possible. I just, oh my God. So, Human trafficking Native American communities is another epidemic. That is so sad. An epidemic that continues even today because of the rural areas where natives live and the lack of enforcement available. Native women have been easy targets for violence and trafficking. Now you tell me, why isn't there law enforcement? Why isn't that being, you know, back then they had marshals. Hi everybody, thank you for being here. Means a lot to me. Hi farmer. I wanted to pop in and show you some love. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I know this is kind of a topic that you don't see very often, but I can't believe this. An epidemic, and it's nuts. It's crazy. Um, so the law enforcement's not available. I don't understand why we don't have law enforcement, like, marshals, or something in those rural areas where there still is Native Americans living, and it's just no, like, and it makes them easily targeted now because they don't have any protection. Additionally, there are complicated jurisdictional barriers that arise when crime occurs between native and non-native peoples that often lead to injustice. Now tell me that's not fair. Tell me that's not fair for them to have to go through that and then then it's injustice, and you got it's that just drives me insane. And massive events like Sturgis Motorcycle Rally became a hotspot for the Native American tea, with multiple arrests being made every year. I remember American Pickers. I liked that guy too. Now I can't remember his name. What's his name, you guys? Come on, now you guys know American Pickers. What's his name? He went down to Sturgis a lot. That's why I've noticed that motorcycle bike rally. Sturgis. I remember American Pickers going down there. I'm looking for the comments to see. What's his name? Rick? Is it Rick? Or is it I know one of them, he goes down there. I don't think he's alive anymore. Dave? Rick? Oh my god, it's been so long since I even watched it. But he would always go down to Sturgis, and that's crazy that's a hot spot. Did you guys read that? Okay, let's see what SG says. I wish I could pin it. I've been on tribal. I have been on tribal land and in women's prisons with church groups. Their laws and legal system are very different than ours. Man, maybe one time we can. I could have you on, or we could like swap some notes, because that's interesting. I would love to go to see, like, because I've been down to a powwow. My friend took me, and we went down there, and she just made sure. She was like, Jackie, make sure you don't call them the I word. They're Native Americans. I got to watch them do the dance and sing and tell stories, and it was a fun so much time. It was down in Mohican, and it was they call it a powwow, and just being around them and learning, and like, it was awesome. Like, I would love to do that experience again. I'd even love to go to a tribal, because I heard, I've been watching a lot of, old westerns and stuff. So that's why when I heard Senator say that this is not a topic that's talked about, I was like, whoa, let me go look up these missing. And then I found 3 of them. I found 4 of them, but I only wrote 3 of them down because the other ones, it pops up. But it's shocking that motorcycle group surges is a hot spot for these Native Americans to go missing and be in trafficking. And they've had multiple arrests there every year. Law enforcement and government officials are becoming increasingly aware of these issues and taking more steps to address it, but we still have a long way to go to protect the indigenous women from sexual violence and trafficking. That's crazy that at this motorcycle rally that this happens. It is so crazy, so freaking crazy. I would have never thought, because I used to love watching American Pawn Stars or American Pickers. My bad, American Pickers. And I remember that guy going down there to see that, to go down there, and I think he searched and he's down picking down there. Okay, what was the other chapter? Chapter 6. I want to show you guys chapter 6. I'm going to go to chapter 6 now. Was that chapter 6? 6 and then 5. Did we do 5 yet? Did we do 5? I think we did 5. Yep. So 5 and 6 was my main 2 that I wanted to show you. However, we did go through some of these, but I do have a few other things we want to get to. Let me stop sharing this one. I'm going to come back to StreamYard. And oh my god, I look like a mess. Don't look at me. Oh god, I'm horrible. Let's see here. I can probably close that one out. I'm thinking, y'all. I'm thinking. Hi, everybody. But yes, SG, that'd be what is it like? Like with the system, like I just that's what gets me too. Like with the system, and I'm not having no protection, no law for them. It's pretty crazy. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and share this. We're gonna share. We're gonna go to this one here. Now, I'm going to pull up Copilot again. So, earlier today, I was doing some research. Let me make sure this pops up. I want to look at my chat here really quick. I don't see Copilot popped up yet. Okay, so earlier I asked my little Microsoft Copilot here to bring up some unsolved cases, and I have one. I have a couple of them. I put her link in as well. I really wish you guys could see what Copilot had to say, but I'll just read you what I have. So the first one is Kasier stops at pretty places. Okay, that's their kind of like their title they give her. As you can see right here, this is her. Right here, this is her. So her tribe was Crow and Northern Cheyenne. Her age was 18 years old, and she went missing in August 2020 out of Montana. Now, the details to her death was Kasier was found dead in her backyard in Hardin, Montana. Her death was ruled suspicious, but there has been little progress or transparency from the law enforcement Her family believes foul play was involved. Okay. Um, there's a lot of stuff on her. Um,
6 years ago, Sarah stops Pretty Places disappeared August 24th.
Sarah is actually a movement in and of itself, and it really has inspired other families to take the initiative in finding justice in their own cases.
She was found, and a proper investigation was not done. Making things more difficult, her body was desecrated during the process.
Oh my God.
And there's really mysterious circumstances surrounding the whole case.
Wow. Here's another one. I don't know if I click play, if it's gonna mess everything up. Let's see.
Listening to her, having her.
They said August 24th she went
having her around.
6 years ago, Sarah stops Pretty Places disappeared August 24th.
Sarah is actually a movement in and of
Can
itself.
you guys hear
and it
that?
really has inspired other families to
Their
take the
system
initiative
is
in
terrible
finding justice in their own
when
cases.
they're
She
accused
was
of
found,
crime.
and a proper investigation was not done. Making things more difficult, her body was desecrated during the process.
And
let's see here. Before I play Casillas, oh, right there it said went missing. Let me bring up Copilot again because there was another one, a couple other girls. So then there was another girl. I'm gonna come back to Cursier. I want to play some of those. I want to play that video. I think I want to play that video. Missing and murdered. So sad. But there was a second girl, and her title and name was Selena Not Afraid. Now her tribal group was called the Crow. Her age is 16 years old, and she went missing January of 2020. Now the details of Selena's was last seen near a rest area in Montana. Okay, now mind you, Kasira, she went missing also in Montana. Okay, so I wonder if there might be a connection. They said 20. When was Kasira? We're gonna have to go back, but can somebody remember that in the chat? January 2020 is when Selena went missing. Now I don't think there was anything with Selena's. I will dig later, and if I find Selena and what she looks like, and if I can find her story on here, I will do Selena's tomorrow. But so with Selena's dates, hers was January 20th. Christina went missing. She's 18. She went missing in 2020 as well, from what the note said earlier. But then I think she said she was found 2024. Hold on.
Listening to her, having her around.
6 years ago, Sarah stops Pretty Places disappeared August 24th.
Sarah is actually a movement in and of itself, and it really has inspired other families to take the initiative in finding justice in their own cases.
She was found, and a proper investigation was not done. Making things more difficult, her body was desecrated during the process.
And there's really mysterious circumstances surrounding the whole case.
Yeah, because we got 2 girls now. 2 girls. But Selena's missing from her tribal was the crew. And we got Kasira at Cheyenne and the northern Cheyenne and wait a minute, the Crow too. Oh my God, oh my God, that is
listening to her, having her around.
6 years ago, Kasera Stops Pretty Places disappeared August 24th.
Sarah is actually a movement in and of itself, and it really has inspired other families to take the initiative and finding justice.
It's scary because they're both from so Selena Not Afraid is from the Crow. Kasira is from the Crow and the Northern Cheyenne. Now, one is 16 and one is 18, and they both go missing out of Montana at the same year. There's 3 things. There's 2 things. Well, no. There's 3 things in common in the missing. You can't hear me? That is crazy. That these girls went missing. The same crew. Out of the same crew, they went missing. Selena was last seen near the rest area in Montana. Her body was found nearly 3 weeks later in a field nearby. The circumstances surrounding her disappearance remains unclear and no charges have been filed. That is crazy. You can hear? Oh, you said you can hear. Okay, I thought I said you can't hear. Ding dong me. What do you guys think? There's any coincidence there? We got the same years. Okay. Same years. I'll write down the other one too. Ashlyn. Now, Ashlyn Mike is another one. Now, she's 11 years old. Tribe Navajo, Nabajo. Age 11 years old. Absent was abducted and unalived near Shiprock, New Mexico. While the suspect was arrested and questioned, the remains. This is what makes me mad about this last little girl was because you guys. She went missing May 2016, and she had an Amber Alert out for her. But it says she went missing near Shiprock, New Mexico, while the suspect was arrested and questions remain about delays in the Amber Alert system and missed opportunities to save her. And her name was Ashlyn Mike. And what I'm going to do tomorrow is I'm going to deep dive into Ashlyn Mike, and we're going to deep dive into Selena Not Afraid, okay? Because the coincidence, I don't even know if I could even reach out, or if I don't know if the cops ever digged or thought about that, because they both came from the same tribe, pretty much. Kara Sears was 18. She's from the Crow and the Northern Cheyenne. And then Selena Not Afraid from the Crow, age 16, January 2020. Now, I'm going to show you guys. Let's play. Let's see here.
listening to her.
It's so crazy. August 13th, 2021, updated November 2023. Outline Kassir's pretty place's death. How beautiful she is. Dealing an 18-year-old 2 years after her body was found in Hardin. Sears body on the property of the corner of a fenced-in backyard and intersection of Mitchell Avenue and Rangeville Drive. Authorities arrived and requested a sheriff and coroner's office. The body was taken for an autopsy at the Montana State Crime Lab in Billings. On that same day, a self-identified aunt of Kassir told sheriff's officers and investigators of an interview that Kassir was last seen August 24th of 2019. The aunt also believed Kassir was hanging out on Range Grove Drive because there was a person who bought her alcohol lived there. According to the police report, the person's house was closely in proximity of the location where Kassir's body was found. A collection of witnesses' statements and claims Kassir was with a 17-year-old girl and a 19-year-old old woman and a 23-year-old man on August 25th, 2019, outside a home on Ridgewood Drive. By piecing together the statements, and authorities determined that there was an argument around 3 a.m. on that day in front of the home of Rangewood Drive. The report states that the argument prompted the homeowner to remotely sound an alarm on their car in order to disperse the of the four individuals. Kassir reportedly ran to the backyard of the home where her body was later found, while the three people she was with ran in opposite directions. Okay. Well, right there, that makes a whole lot of... I know she's such a beautiful girl, SG. I can't believe that... Like, there's your suspects. If she went missing on that night, like, I'm pretty sure that either those are the three suspects, or it could be something with the other girl that was unalived. Same tribe, of years, ages were off, but okay. So there's no available evidence to show whether or not Kassir was in contact with anyone after she was observed going into the backyard. The exact circumstances surrounding her disappearance remain under investigation. Following autopsy of Kassir's body was a report issued on December 6 of 2019. Read in part, autopsy revealed no evidence of injury or nasal or natural diseases. Toxicology test of blood detected in the appearance of ethanol. Although no neck injuries were detected at the autopsy, and asphyxia cause of death cannot be excluded at this time. The cause and the manner of the death is classified as undetermined. At the time of discovery of her body, Kirsia's blood alcohol concentration was indicated at 0.149 point. There is no evidence that missing persons report was entitled or was entered into the National Crime Information Centers by authorities following Kirsia's disappearance August 25th of 2019. Though she was entered as a missing persons by the Bureau of Indiana Affairs Office of Justice and Services on July 5th, 2019. She was located by her court-appointed guardian Billings on July 7th of 2019 and was removed as a missing person. The report states that this does not appear to be a significant investigation effort took place August 30th, 2019 and September 19th of 2019. However, on October 1st, 2019, the Bighorn County Attorney called the establishment of Missing and Murdered Persons Task Force to address all suspicions and deaths or suspected homicides under state jurisdictions in the county. Substantial investigation efforts were then reestablished by the sheriff's office during that first week in October. During the investigation, authorities said school records indicate that in April 2019, Kassir was found unresponsive due to high-level intoxication, which prompted the emergency room visit. In 2020, the investigations were referred to Cold Case Unit, compromised and former federal agents, but investigators and efforts were limited due to the C-19 pandemic. After the independent review conducted in 2021, the forensic pathologist determined that the level of alcohol of Kassir's body at the time of her death was comparable to the amount of alcohol in her body during the April 2019 incident. According to the report, the county attorney offices accepted the assistance for further investigation efforts from the United States Department of Interior Bureau of Indiana Affairs Office of Justice Services and Missing Murdered Unit. This investigation remains open, and you can read the full release below. Wow. I could probably download it. I wish we could call, and I could call our email and be like, look, have you guys looked into the death of Selena? There's some, they're the same tribe. Okay, one, I didn't know I was going to find all this by clicking the link. I was not expecting to. So sorry if I keep you guys. But this is kind of important here, I didn't know that I was going to click on this link and it was going to bring me to this. So, circumstances of the body of discovery. Let's read that, and then I think I'm going to show you guys because I do want to deep dive tomorrow. I really want to look into Selena because Selena went missing January 2020. Her tribe she was missing by Montana area rest area, and she was found 3 weeks, and no charges have been filed on hers. So these two, and then the same. I can't get over that. It's they're in the same area as Montana. They're both in Montana and Hardin. So, circumstances of body of discovery. The body of an 18-year-old local woman named Kasia, I'm not going to butcher her name, stops at Pretty Places, was discovered in a face-down position closed approximately at 6:43 p.m. on Thursday, August 29th of 2019. In northeast corner of the fenced backyard to a resident on the north side of the intersection of Mitchell Avenue and Regine Drive in Hardin, Montana. The discovery was made by a local citizen who was jogging along Mitchell Avenue. The Bighorn County ambulance was on the scene at approximately 6:49, followed by the Bighorn County Sheriff's deputies at 6:52 p.m. and by 6:55. Wow, that was. The money I should download this and have it. You can read the full release below. So maybe I should download that and then take a look at it and see if I can dig into Selena's. We can compare the two and read what we know about Selena. Wow. Wow. Whew. That was a lot to read. Holy shit. I Spitfire. Okay, so I'm debating my last statement. What happened? My thoughts is crime of opportunity. Yeah, crimes of opportunity. Well, what makes me kind of wonder is they're both from Montana, and Selena, Not Afraid, was from that tribe as well. But the dates, it's just, I don't know. Like, I wasn't expecting to click that link and find out all of Christine's. We can go and let me see. I did want to show you guys this video. We're gonna go to, let's see. Is there a news one? I want a news one. Okay. I hope this is a video. Yep. Okay. Come on. Thank you. All right, my landlord can do that. Come on.
If you're looking for expert roofing contractors who offer a wide range of solutions, you've come to the right place.
At Sprague Roofing, we confidently stand by being one of the most experienced, and aside from offering
Ooh,
quality products
sorry.
and reputable, the highest quality work in the industry.
The homeowner can
down in the backyard of a Hardin home. The Bighorn County attorney says the death of 18-year-old Sarah Stops at Pretty Places is not forgotten and is still under investigation. A jogger noticed the body behind the home near Mitchell Avenue and Rangeview Drive on Thursday, August 29th of 2019. That's 4 days after Sarah apparently went missing. An autopsy ruled her death as undetermined after the medical examiner found no evidence of injury or natural disease and detected a blood alcohol level of 0.149. The new report states that in the early morning hours of August 25th, Stops at Pretty Places was outside a home on Rangeview Drive with two females, ages 17 and 19, and a 23-year-old man. As an argument ensued, a neighbor remotely activated the lights and horn of his vehicle, which sent the three running in different directions. Stops at Pretty Places apparently fled to the backyard, where she was found dead 4 days later. Now, DNA samples collected from her body and under her fingernails found no foreign DNA.
Wow.
The report
Okay.
also states in April of that year, stops at Pretty Places had been found unresponsive at Hardin High School due to a high level of alcohol intoxication. Additional medical records also confirmed she had asthma. An independent review found the level of alcohol in her
Wow.
body when found dead
That is
was
crazy.
comparable to the amount of alcohol in her body during the school year. Now, the report concludes announcing a federal agency has offered to assist with the active
You know, I
investigation.
wondered if she was
and
drinking so
cures.
much because she was wanting some kind of attention or some kind of, party, or I guess it's normal back then, I don't know, to drink like that.
Has agreed.
Wow. And it just goes on about her stops at Pretty Place must be their Native American name. This just goes over the port. The 23-year-old man, though, makes me question. Let me look at something once. Oh, it's going to refresh it. No. Okay, I just want to look at something. He was 31. Okay, never mind. Age don't match for that one. The 23-year-old gets me, though, because what do they know? The 17-year-old, and they had an argument. It makes no sense to me, DNA samples were collected and no foreign object was found. Okay, I do want to show you guys. Delete that. Hold with me. We're gonna go on a trip. Going on a ship, on our favorite rocket ship. Yeah. Okay. I looked it up on YouTube. I didn't see any, but it's become a nationwide crisis. Let me show you guys this one.
Whoa!
Yes.
How do you sleep at night?
On a mattress. A mattress firm. I sleep
Right
right now.
Yeah.
I'm in South Dakota, where there are currently twice as many Indigenous women missing than all other women combined. Here in Rapid City, I'm meeting a private investigator who's looking for one of them.
Dead Indians down here is the norm, and we're trying to make it not the norm.
Lissa Yellowbird Chase has been searching for missing women for over 13 years. Her past cases have involved everything from runaways, domestic violence to murder. Her work has been crucial to high-profile investigations, including the FBI's prosecution of the 3 men who killed her niece.
What happened just there? He's just interested, probably smelled something he never.
Oh, wow, that's something I didn't watch this, so this is new to us, new to me, new to you, okay, guys?
Never smelled before. Okay. Well, yeah, when there's a hit, you'll know. You will know.
This week, Lissa is searching for Susan Fast Eagle.
Susan Fast Eagle. So that's gotta be their Indian Native American name.
A 30-year-old Native woman who's been missing for 5 months. Susan comes from a nearby Indian reservation. When she visits the city, she spends time amongst the homeless community that live along this creek, where a number of bodies have been found in recent years.
Settle. I don't have no gloves, but there's a piece of clothing in there. Oh, wow, look.
Yeah.
Knowing how many of our relatives had died in this creek, I find it intriguing that all this red, like moss or whatever, is lining the creek.
Crazy.
It just signifies the bloodshed that was here and how sacred they are to us, and that's why we're here.
Government data on missing Indigenous women is limited. In 2020, around 230 cases were logged by the Department of Justice. In the same year, an NGO estimated that number was closer to 2,300. To those who advocate on behalf of missing women, this is an institutional blind spot that's symbolic of the.
I'm definitely gonna dig on these other women though, but what do you guys think so far? Like, why is this not being talked about? Like, why are we not focusing on these unsolved cases of these missing? And I didn't know this was a crisis, and I did not know this was an epidemic.
The nation's careless attitude towards vulnerable Native people.
When
people put a 1 in the chat if you guys knew about this, and put a 2 if you had no idea. 1 if anybody did, 2 if nobody did. Because I didn't, not until my friend pointed it out. I'm shocked.
People think about the people who live in the streets. You know, the general consensus is like, oh, you know, they chose that kind of life.
No,
they could get a job like anybody else.
There's
they don't think about the trauma.
What impact do you think that has when police are investigating?
This is just a way to shove our people off. Investigations cost money. We'd rather save that for Susie Q down the street, you know.
Yeah.
And when you say that, you mean a white person?
Pretty much.
Okay, well, I don't agree with her.
Lissa's spirited defense of the homeless comes from her own experience of living in the streets. Wow. She hears that Susan's mother-in-law is visiting Rapid City for the day, so we cross town to meet her and find out more about Susan's life.
So, where's Susan's family?
Her father passed away maybe 20 years ago, and her mother passed away probably 4 years ago.
And she has one child.
And one child.
That's her teenage daughter.
She's 12 years old.
Yeah. Okay.
She's at my house now. Do we hear about these women disappearing? I never thought it would happen to us. But Susan is.
And that's the thing, we don't think about what if that happens to us. What if we always say it's never going to happen, it's never going to happen. And then you find that it does happen and you don't know how to.
It's gullible, soft-spoken, kind. And when you're drunk, you can't think straight.
Susie tells us that both Susan and her husband Tommy drink heavily. This is a red flag for Lissa, who has more questions about their relationship.
What was it like with them two as far as domestic abuse?
Well, I didn't see physical abuse.
See? And the girl so they're saying that the daughter, the one that's missing, she has a daughter who's 12 years old, which is with custody with her, but she's with this man and they're heavily drinking and they have domestic violence. So that's another, domestic violence is another big key, another big, huge thing in this world as it is, and it happens in everybody. And here we go. We got a case of it now.
Maybe sometimes like verbal abuse when they're intoxicated.
Mm-hmm.
So she's saying right there, right then, she's noticed the verbal abuse when they drink. She didn't see no physical. Maybe she could have did something to help her get away from that man, but
when they were sober, they were sweet.
Can you just tell me what is Susan like?
Susan is a healthy, rambunctious, cheery girl.
Aww.
Good cook.
What message would you like to say to Susan if she could hear, or if you think that she is still there?
Remember I was there for you, Sue.
Aww.
I'm here for you.
Trigger warning, if you guys are sensitive like I am, and I have a sensitive heart, so I cry at everything.
I love you,
You knew
Sue.
it was bad. SG, I had no idea it was this
Look
bad.
at the moon. Because we share the moon and the stars.
First, we offer overnight boarding. Your pet will stay overnight in your sitter's home and not only be treated like part of the family, but treated like a king or queen honey. Next, we have house.
Commercial.
Rapid City is in close proximity to two large Indian reservations, and the police force here are very familiar with cases like.
I didn't know the Indian reservations I didn't know that. I didn't know those were still around.
Susan's. This is where she was last seen, and that means Captain James Johns has to explore leads in her case among the city's homeless community. Just driving through here, what are you kind of looking out for? What are you seeing when you are patrolling an area like this?
Well, I'm making sure that nobody is just hanging out, passed out. If somebody's just laying on the ground, obviously that's a concern, and we want to make sure that they're okay, and you check their welfare. And
is her nose bleeding?
Yeah. Hang on. Hi, what's going on? All right, let's go talk underneath the bridge.
No, I don't.
What's your name?
Uh-oh.
You're not going to tell me your name? Hey, you can't walk away. You got to stay. Hey.
Identify yourself first.
I'm Captain Johns with the Rapid City Police Department. How's that?
All right, thank you.
So what's your name?
I got a right to remain silent.
You do have a right to remain silent. You absolutely do.
This situation shows that Rapid City PD are routinely dealing with problems they say they don't have specialist training for, like homelessness and addiction.
The vast majority of our homeless population is Native American.
Okay, so then we better start getting some training for these officers. We can't be having them. They've got to get some training then. That can't happen. They got to.
American. And the reality is a lot of folks here do choose to be homeless. They choose to live in this fashion, and Rapid City seems to be a comfortable place to do that.
How much resources does it take to police this?
The chronic alcoholism and the chronic homelessness is really, it's crippling to an agency, because our guys would rather be doing something else. There are better people to do this task than us.
On a break, I asked Captain Johns why so many campaigners feel that cases of missing Indigenous women aren't being properly investigated. They say, actually, we don't feel like the police put enough resources into finding our missing loved one, and we think that that's because of, quite frankly, just because of the color of their skin.
And that's a clue to me that we haven't done enough communication.
Oh, she's asking some good questions. Did you hear what she just said? When he posts on other channels? Wow, I didn't see. I had no idea.
We haven't done enough work to let that family know exactly what we're doing. Can we spend all of our time looking for Susan? The answer is no. Sometimes in investigations, there's work that gets done that we're not able to explain to people or give them that information. Sometimes people in the own family, in that own nuclear group, are responsible for somebody's disappearance, and so we have to take that into account for too. You know, the vast majority of people get killed by people they know.
Is that something you're considering in Susan's case?
We're exploring all options in Susan's case. Everything is on the table where Susan is concerned.
Liz is also following all available leads when it comes to Susan's case, and has moved her search to the road that links Rapid City to the Pine Ridge Indian Reservation. Liz has taken us off the main streets to this back road. It's dusty, you can barely see anything. She's come here because she thinks this is where a body may be found. Wow, this remote wilderness is known locally as the Badlands, and Liz has been told bodies might be buried here. Although she hopes to find Susan alive, she needs to rule out the possibility that Susan's body is hidden here by using her cadaver dogs that are specially trained to detect human remains. Melissa, what are we doing here?
We're going to take the dogs off and eliminate this area. We're going to go around and then work our way back down.
Okay.
See if we can get a hit or not.
We're joined by Antoinette, who Lisa met through a nationwide network of people highlighting the growing numbers of missing Indigenous women, men, children, and two-spirit people. Why is it so important that women are leading this?
Well, in my opinion, women need to lead this movement because we're the life givers. So it starts with us.
When we speak of women, we think daughter, sister, mother, aunt, grandmother. So we maybe in a sense we have that biological connection with the people that are missing.
This is showing Antoinette the ropes here. She's brought along the dog so that Antoinette can get used to this cadaver dog. And her hope is to have a cadaver dog on every reservation so that people can help themselves and find their missing ones.
We could just ask the antelope if they've seen any of our relatives.
See? Remember I told you? She learned that from me.
Lisa's investigation now moves on to the Pine Ridge Indian Reservation, where Susan stays with family. It's one of the poorest counties in the US. All of America's 326 Indian reservations have their own laws, and many have their own tribal police force. This essentially makes each of them a country within a country. Because Liz is a regular civilian, she can search for a missing person anywhere on or off a reservation. But the US Constitution prevents state and tribal police forces from having the same freedom of movement. As John Shishlaw, who manages emergency services on Pine Ridge, explains, this can have serious consequences.
Rapid City is considered state jurisdiction, and once you're on the reservation, it's considered tribal or federal jurisdiction.
Wow.
And so you really don't cross those lines.
This is mine. You stay away.
Definitely. That's exactly the way it is.
The Biden administration has committed funds to improving the chances of finding missing Indigenous women, but this won't solve the jurisdictional problems that can set back investigations.
If those agencies could work together, share the information, and be boots on the ground side by side, we would find a great deal more of our missing people.
Come on.
Wow, you guys hear that?
Do you think potentially more people?
So if they could just get the state and the federal to work together, they would find a lot more missing people. That was shocking. I about to back that up. I don't know if you guys heard that, but I did, and he totally admitted it.
People have gone missing or died because there's these gaps and because there's potentially.
Undoubtedly. There's no doubt about it.
Really?
Yeah.
There is no single reason why Native women go missing, but when they do, these jurisdictional boundary issues can mean there is no one police force looking into every aspect of their case, which can stall investigations.
Beautiful out there.
But what John told me next is really shocking. Non-native criminals can come onto a reservation and neither the state or tribal police have the powers to arrest them. This gap in the law means some women who live on reservations may also be vulnerable to human traffickers.
That's sad.
Being passed around from man to man is nothing I ever wanted for my life. I would run. It was like they found me everywhere I went. It was like running from the devil himself.
A small number of women managed to escape their traffickers. One of them, who we're calling Shelby, told us her shocking story, which includes descriptions of child abuse. Tell me about when you were younger.
We didn't have running water. We were very destitute and poor. How the children look in Africa, you see them with their pot bellies because we were starving to death.
Do you remember what your first sexual experience was?
This man was a biker, and he would have been my stepfather. he would place my siblings and his own children in the
A biker. Remember earlier, the article we read earlier about Sturgis being the biggest one and the hot spot? So.
bed with him and have them watch pornographic material.
Oh my
And they
God.
were performing sexual acts on him that they would see through the TV. My mother, she was working so much, I believe she knew. I knew she knew. And she chose.
There you go. You got to see. She's about to tell you that her mom didn't know, kind of like a Madeline Soto mom. Fucking knew it was happening and didn't stop it.
Not to do anything because he was part of a bigger ring.
Later in life, Shelby was targeted by traffickers who she described as being white and from off the reservation.
At first, they call you the it girl, so it makes you feel beautiful because you're finally getting some attention. When you're abused all your life and then you're told you're beautiful, oh, I'm beautiful. It has nothing to do with your beauty, just what the dollar amounts you're gonna produce for them.
Oh
After
my
I was
God.
drugged, I was taken by a car to different locations and raped for hours.
Oh, she said the R word. Shit.
I don't even know for how long. And then it was put on porno sites and being sold.
This is Pod 5,
Oh my
the first
God.
fully immersive sleep system.
Trigger warning.
Intelligent,
Get some trigger guys.
It's sickening.
Trigger warning things on that chat.
Shelby was trafficked for almost a decade and was eventually able to find help through a program like the Pathfinder Centre. It's housed inside an abandoned motel at a secret location, providing safe sanctuary for trafficked women.
This is fair use underneath the section 107 disclaimer. I probably should put that in there. Let me go ahead and put that back in here, y'all, just to be safe. They were saying the thing, this is education purposes only.
It's also unique because it offers survivors rehab that takes historical traumas into account. Some people watching might say, how can something that happened hundreds of years ago impact you personally now? Got to get over it.
I mean, the training that I went through, I know that we are all who we are because of what we've been taught.
I don't like how that lady said you gotta get over it. No, you don't. You gotta get over it when you're ready to face that demon, face why it happened. You know.
So, when they took us off our reservations and put us into these camps, women were selling themselves to the soldiers. Soldiers were already raping them. So they were already selling themselves to get more food for their kids because they were only getting rations of food that weren't going to last. I mean, you think about it, these women were picking corn out of horses' manure because they didn't have enough. So trafficking started then, and the raping of Native women started then when they put us in these camps.
I've come back to Lissa to see if she's made any progress in the search for Susan. Given the stress of these investigations, they can take their toll, and she's enjoying her first day off in 3 weeks.
Wow.
I've made a lot of sacrifices. I've missed a lot of birthdays. I've missed a lot of holidays with my kids. There is no way, to replace any of that.
How much of a difference have these dogs made to your life?
Well, these are like my mates now. Hey! I know these families
Maybe I should
because
get a
we've been there
whistle for my
ourselves.
dog.
And I've been through a lot in my lifetime with my own addiction. My run-ins with law enforcement, with the street life. And if I can stand with them and help them and get a resolution for them, then it was worth it to me.
Liz has received a tip-off about a strong smell coming from a patch of land where Susan and her husband Tommy
Look how they live on the ranch with the horses.
drink together.
I don't know about Susan. I don't know it. That's not like her. It is not like her to go like that. It's not.
Cecilia's known Susan and Tommy for 10 years and would pay them to do odd jobs around the ranch. Lissa wants to know more about the rumours she's heard of how Tommy would treat Susan.
He'd break up things and, get abusive and hit Susan.
Did you ever see her abused or beat up?
No. I never did.
Further questioning revealed that Cecilia was only repeating rumours she'd heard. Lissa is then left trying to piece together what's true and what's gossip. So now it's time to track down Tommy, who's been the subject of so much speculation.
Ooh, wow.
We arrive at Tommy's house and are met by his mum, who
They go, okay, all right.
He tells us he's inside but doesn't want to talk. She
Just
shows us a
finish
piece of
describing
Susan's
it.
craft work left unfinished.
So I'm just gonna wait for her to come back and finish. I'm not. This is gonna hang there until she comes back and finishes.
Aw,
Lisa
okay.
asks if Tommy will come out and speak to us about Susan, and to our surprise, he does.
Is it
Chief Eagle. Tommy the Chief Eagle. Are you guys seeing this? I cannot believe this. Wow.
is detectives or something?
No, huh?
Well,
No, but we're trying to help you guys find Susan. Tell me about your last couple days with Susan so we can kind of try to narrow down which direction she may have gone.
But she used to like feeding those ducks right there.
Oh.
They're in at Roosevelt Park.
So how did you guys get separated?
Oh, because the night before we were kind of drinking. When you're hanging over real bad, you have to keep moving. So she said that. She told me, "Go ahead, babe, go get us something to eat, then eat and drink." So I went, got her favorite drink, Sprite, a couple heat up sandwiches, a bag of chips. In the back, she was gone.
So do you think something happened to her? Because you're kind of referring to her past tense.
No.
No? You think she's okay somewhere? Yeah. So that's good.
I just said used to because she's not strolling with me by the pond or anything. So
Why are some people saying that you might know more about where she is?
because I'm her husband, we're always together, but now we're not. And
Did you have a fight?
no, I never punched her.
Oh, I
Did
don't
anything.
know. What do you guys think?
We yelled, argued, but just.
I mean, he's not really giving her eye contact. I mean, kind of giving her eye contact. Let me go back a little bit.
She was a bag of chips. In the back, she was gone.
So do you think something happened to her? Because you're kind of referring to her past tense.
No.
No? You think she's okay somewhere?
Yeah.
Okay, you looked at her.
That's good.
I just said used to because she's not strolling with me by the pond or anything. So
Why are some people saying that you might know more about where she is?
because I'm her husband, we're always together, but now we're not. And
Did you have a fight?
no, I never punched her or did anything. We yelled, argued, but just walk away for a little while. That's what we usually do.
And what would you say to Susan if she was watching? If she saw this, what would you say to her?
Just come back now. You know we love you.
Oh, I don't know. I'm having mixed feelings. Like I'm sad, and I'm because this woman is missing, and everybody's saying that he was DVing her, and I don't know.
Walk away for a little while. That's what we usually do.
And what would you say to Susan if she was watching? If she saw this, what would you say to her?
Watch his eyes, you guys.
Just come back now. You know we love you. She knows that too.
The next day, Lisa bumps into Tommy and reminds him that she's always available should he remember anything that might help bring an end to the search for Susan.
I'll tell you right now, I've heard in my own heart, my own spirit, I've ruled you out. Yeah. I just want you to know that, you look better, you sound better. I can tell your mind is straightening out. You look like your spirit's back, man. You have a lot of information in you that we need, that you don't even realize that you have. You know what I mean? So we have to stay in contact.
Wow. Okay.
The latest news from Rapid City PD is that Susan was last seen with another homeless Indigenous man, described to us as being gentle, shy, and in many ways much like Susan. They've offered a $3,000 reward for useful information. Lisa leaves for her next investigation, hundreds of miles away in North Dakota. She's given us a small glimpse into a nationwide problem that she's certain will keep her searching for years to come.
Wow. Wow, what do you guys think? Oh my God. Oh my gosh, I had no idea. Wow. Whew. They seem so unaffected. Yeah, neither police can cross the lines and do complete investigations. That's what's sad. That is so sad, SG. You are so right. They cannot. They cannot. And that guy said, if you know, he did say if the federal and if they could work together, they would be able to find so many more people. That is just, I cannot believe that, but that guy did say that. And I just it breaks my heart that I got another one. It does show that the system is terrible and women were it's what makes me was I just wonder about that Selena and Kirasia have some common things in, and and I just cannot believe that. Let me make sure I don't have anything else on the YouTube thing here. This is a quick we'll go right here real quick. This is a quick one that I want to show you guys.
Wix gives you the power of AI to build the website you need. With full business.
Elizabeth Cook begins our series of special reports on what we know, what is suspected, and what needs to be done.
Northern California is known for its remote, rugged beauty. But within these densely packed forests, along the isolated stretches of beach, and under the canopy of majestic redwoods, there is a deepening sense of dread. Behind this redwood curtain lies a dark and devastating mystery. Indigenous women are going missing, and many of them are winding up dead. Mothers,
and this is on CBS
sisters,
News, and I've never seen this. Never seen this. It's on CBS News. That's a big channel.
Vanishing into thin air.
Got a phone call one day that my daughter was missing.
Where is my mom? Where is my mom? And you'd have to say to them, I don't know, honey, I don't know.
With many families left in the dark.
She was worthy of a search. She's still worthy.
California is home to the largest Native American population in the United States. But living in the rural north appears to pose an especially high risk to these women.
It's not safe. I could disappear and nobody would know.
84% of Indigenous women living on reservations.
And see, that was there's some of my notes coming back, so everybody can't say I give out misinformation. I've been correct all night tonight. 84%. We've seen it. I've showed you my notes. I've showed you the articles. That is insane to me.
Experience some form of violence and are 10 times more likely to be murdered. 40% of victims exploited in sex trafficking operations are Indigenous. Many of these cases are tangled up with domestic violence, substance abuse, and mental illness.
That's crazy. I'm going to go back since I was talking over that. Here we go.
Are Indigenous. Many of these cases are tangled up with domestic violence, substance abuse, and mental illness. As to why these women are so vulnerable, it's complicated. But one factor involves a brutal legacy of California's history.
Up here, you're looking at the massacres, of which there were a number. You're looking at boarding schools, and you're looking at indentured slaves.
And we read about that too. Again, we read there in the research. It's because of them damn boarding schools were no good. No good.
For nearly 2 centuries, the U.S. government forcibly removed Indigenous children from their families and put them in federal boarding schools. The goal? To assimilate them into a white society and erase all tribal identity. Here's a before portrait taken in 1881, a group of newly arrived children. 7 months later, another portrait, this time with cut hair, foreign clothes, even a white doll. Not a single smiling face. The damage persists.
All this area up here, all of us have dealt with that historic trauma.
Another major factor, a congressional law passed in the 50s as a way to save money. It mandates that in California, all major crimes committed on Indian territory will be handled not by tribal police, but by the state. In this case, the local sheriff.
The tribe has essentially been told, well, you can't have jurisdiction for certain things. The county's in charge of that, but we're not going to give the county any extra money.
There is no accurate count on the number of missing or murdered Indigenous women in California. Only 9% of the murders are solved, and the resources are scarce, and the mistrust runs deep.
We cannot conduct any kind of investigation if we don't have the trust of the communities.
Wow. Can you believe that? That's crazy.
Missing and murdered Indigenous women, their cases never solved. In Northern California's most rustic landscape, behind this redwood curtain lies a dark and devastating mystery.
Got a phone call one day
We watched
that my daughter was missing.
That is insane. And freaking insane.
I've been all over this world.
Okay, let me show you. Let's see here. This one was 4 months ago.
Right now, there's a big spotlight on missing and murdered Indigenous people in Arizona. Things hit a boiling point when 14-year-old Emily Pike was found murdered outside of Globe after disappearing from her Mesa group home earlier this year.
And amid vigils for Pike and calls for justice, I-Team reporter Erica Stapleton is looking at what the state is doing to address these kinds of cases.
Arizona actually has a missing and murdered Indigenous people task force. I was able to obtain their annual reports that not only call this a crisis, but point out gaps in solving these kinds of cases.
A painful reality.
I have two sons,
For Birdie Bitsui.
one missing and one murdered.
She said her sons, Drew James and Alexander Esky, grew up on the Navajo Nation. In April 2020, 25-year-old Drew
Navajo
was shot
Nation.
and killed near 57th Ave in Thomas in Phoenix. Still, no arrests.
It went cold.
2 months later, in June 2020, 37.
That's how you say that. Remember earlier, I couldn't remember how to say. There was another one from that word. Yes, okay.
7-year-old Alex went missing near Kayenta and hasn't been seen since.
Try to be strong because I have to find answers for them. But there's days that I cry, I break down.
The murder of Emily Pike, a 14-year-old girl found dismembered outside of Globe after she
my
disappeared from her
God.
group home in Mesa, putting other missing and murdered Indigenous people's cases in the spotlight.
These communities are deserving of more resources, more time, more airtime, more attention.
Elaine Breland is the chief prosecutor for the Salt River Pima Maricopa Indian community. She's also on Arizona's Missing and Murdered Indigenous People Task Force, formed by executive order in 2023 by Governor Katie Hobbs. So far, the task force has issued 2 annual reports to the governor, highlighting in part the difficulties of solving these cases, including poor communication between law enforcement and tribes, questions about who gets jurisdiction, and a lack of data, particularly when it comes to missing kids.
It's very difficult to solve a problem when the data that you need to know the gravity of the problem literally doesn't exist.
You're like a lion in a cage as a mother. You can't sit still.
Birdie says there's been a recent break in her son Alex's missing persons case,
The vehicle that he went missing with was found.
and that a lot falls on her family's shoulders when it comes to getting answers.
Well, that's what we're doing right now. We're pushing.
Erica Stapleton, 12 News.
Erica, thank you.
Okay, guys. What? All right. So let's have a brief. I have to go. My husband needs me. Okay, SD, I'm getting ready to end anyways. I'm going to play out. I do want to give you guys this because I want to say a big, huge thank you for being here with me. I appreciate it. And I really do appreciate every single one of you. And I hope you all have a wonderful night. I enjoyed everybody here. Much love. Oh, thank you, Scotty Freedom. Thank you. Yeah, I'm pretty shocked about that, though. I could not believe that there's so many of them and it's not being talked about. I had no idea that there was an MMIW. I didn't even know about that group, and I just feel so bad for them, for the community and what they have to go through. And, you know, if they could just work out their so to me, it was breaking news. I'm going to show you guys. I love that. I have a couple of these, but I can't add no more. It won't let me. But yeah, I had no idea that was even an epidemic. I mean, they have it classified as an epidemic. I never would have thought that would be an epidemic. All right, so here we go. Here's the outro.
Unclear. Through the static, through the fear, we'll uncover what's unclear. We're seeking truth, no stone unturned. Every clue, every word.
Oh, and tomorrow I will be back with Selena. I'm going to dig into her, and I'm going to dig into some more Kirasia, and maybe if I can find some emails and see if they looked into that, because that young woman was unalived as well. So, after I go to the gym sometime tomorrow, and I will dig and I'll do some more research.